Well, hello there, and you join us here today to talk about not spending very much money. How much money exactly? $200 and less. Tom, it's become very, very clear to me that most of the people in this world don't have tens of thousands of pounds to spend on watches, and you and I are some of those people. So I was thinking, why don't we go back to basics? Why don't we whip out $200 from our pockets and see what we can spend that money on? Are you game?
Let's do it.
Tom, I'm so happy and glad that you're willing to engage in this competition. Did I say competition? I meant competition, because you're going to do 5, I'm going to do 5, and dear viewer and listener, they're going to pick between us who they think did the best job. How about that for a little extra up here?
Fine by me.
Make competition start now.
I, for my first pick, have chosen the G-Shock GM-2100 metal covered. Now, we all know the G-Shock as being the toughest watch ever around of all time, born in the 80s from a dream of creating a watch that never breaks. And by golly, did they make that dream come true. So, the GM-2100 series, you may recognise for its iconic octagonal case shape. That is a symbol of toughness and royal oakness for some people. Now, the metal-covered series inherits all of that shock-resistant property from the original G-Shock, but with a metal covering, a pure liquid chrome mould that's just melted around that shock-resistant resin, and it looks very, very nice and very sleek, like a T1000 that is sent back to kill your wrist.
It does.
In a good way.
It looks like it's merged halfway between the Casio oak and the Royal Oak.
Yeah, when you pause it in the middle of the metamorphosis, this is what you see. The dial has also got a metallic vapor deposition on it, so that gives it a really nice, cool, brushed hairline finish there, which is really, really cool as well and very eye-catching. They come in 44.4mm diameter, but also a slightly smaller 40.4mm dial, so that's 44.4mm and 40.4mm, okay? And a lovely range of colours as well.
These watches look so good to me because the Casio oak is rubber, it's rugged. This one looks like the version that SpaceX astronauts wear. You mentioned them being indestructible. If only someone were to put that to the test. Oh, teasers.
Oh.
Tom, that is a lovely choice. I'm going to go for something a little bit more classic. This is from your friends and ours, Seiko, and is the Seiko 5 SR PG63, and I've chosen this for a number of reasons. Chiefly, if you look around, you can buy it for $200, but more because, well, the everything else about it. Seiko, for one, founded in 1881. That's a long time ago. That means pedigree. It's Japanese, it's not Swiss, but there's still a whole load of watchmaking pedigree there. Spec though, you get the SKX Sport Style, which gives you all of that Seiko 5 goodness. It's an automatic watch with the caliber 4R36, which gives you 41 hours of power reserve, is 40mm wide and 11.5mm thick in steel. You get hacking seconds and a day date, 100 meters of water resistance. The crystal could be sapphire, it's not, it's Seiko's Hardlex mineral crystal, but the thing that I like most about this is the Junior Grand Seiko dial. It's not a smooth finish, it's got that kind of like, oh, is that the surface of the moon I see down there? No, this is your watch you're looking at, and you can enjoy every last bit of it for just $200.
Yeah, that dial is really cool. I was going to say it's my first meteorite dial. Yeah, the pock-marked surface, you've got, some tiny little craters there and some, really nice texturing. That's really cool, and especially paired with the grey fabric strap there. It's a very nice monochromatic look. That's really nice. I like that one. Excellent. For my next watch, I'm going for a watch by your friends and mine, Timex, the American watch bargain pioneers. This is the Timex Q Timex GMT. 38mm stainless steel bracelet watch. So the Q Timex is a reissue of Timex's original 70s quartz watch. You can probably tell that from the boxy case, but that's what I love about this watch. I really love that case design. It's got great proportions, 38mm, just wears really, really comfortably. You barely know it's there in a good way. And there's just some really nice finishing on there. There's a nice mixture of brushing and polishing on the edges and faces there. So really, really cool. And now, with an added GMT hand for jet setters who can't be bothered to do simple maths. It is a quartz, but it comes with my favourite, that functional battery hatch. You won't have to worry your high street jeweller again. You can just grab yourself a penny and slap in a fresh battery at your whim. And obviously the iconic soft drink colorations on the bezel there. For the money, it's an absolute steal for what you get. It's a really, really cool, tight, compact, comfortable, sturdy watch that looks really, really nice.
I think my favourite thing about this particular watch is the upgrade from the previous non-GMT version, the better bracelet that doesn't have a thirst for arm hair.
It does not look as pinchy, yes. The other one will slowly pluck you down to a smooth chicken. But this one looks quite nice.
Tom, this is a fairly ordinary looking dive watch. This is the Orient Ray Automatic. And yes, it's not going to win any prizes for originality, but it will win prizes for taking your $200 and doing an awful lot with it. At 41.5mm across, 13mm thick, you get a screw-down crown, which gives you 200 meters of water resistance. There's the in-house Orient Automatic F6922 movement. Once again, you get mineral glass instead of sapphire, but for $200, this is proper dive watch spec for not very much money at all. And if you're looking for the kind of watch that you can wear when you take your old furniture down to the tip, this is exactly it. You can get all of that bin juice all over it and it'll just wash off just fine.
Very nice. I really like the little insets, the little cutouts in the bezel there. That looks nice.
Ah, you're talking about the niblets.
Oh, yes. I think, though, looking at it, the temptation would be really strong for me to try and slide my nail under there and pluck off the bezel. There's a sort of imp of the perversion there. There's an opportunity to ruin this watch. I must take it.
Well, for just $200, you can satiate that particular need of yours for not very much money at all.
Good stuff. So for my next watch, I've gone for Citizen Men's Sport, or so it is entitled on the UK site. Before we talk about this particular watch, I want to draw your attention to this other watch, also called Men's Sport.
It looks very different to me.
Yes, we spoke about this one previously. I actually really, really like this watch. And I remember you noted, it looks like a combination between a dive watch and a pilot's watch.
Yep.
Very shrewd observation, because in Europe, it's referred to as the seaplane. In the UK, however, it's referred to as Men's Sport, along with a load of other designs that all look very different from one another. So anyway, back to the Men's Sport. So I guess just for reference, we'll refer to this as the Strong Wave, because it's got a very nice wave pattern on the dial.
Looks strong.
And I believe there's some sort of smokiness or sunburstery going on there. You've got a nice sort of gradation into black there. There's a blue version, a green version, and a black version, and they all come with matching dual tone bezels. The 12 o'clock marker looks like the Autobot symbol, which is a massive bonus.
So it does.
And inside is the famous Eco Drive movement. The watch is powered by light, any light. So it's very, very cool technology there. And really cool watch. It's mainly dial. There is a bit of a case poking outside there. You've got some slim crown guards there, a nice sort of blocky lugs. But yeah, it's all about that wave pattern dial there. I think that's sort of creeping into Omega Seamaster vibes for very little money. So yeah, very cool.
That's the dial the James Cameron Deep Sea wishes it has. This is much more interesting and dynamic and punchy. This one makes me want to get into my sub and go slightly deeper than Rolex.
You might come a cropper at 100 meters.
Okay. I'll wear it in the sub.
Have it in your bag.
If I might throw one gripe at this watch, Tom. The numbers on the bezel, they are all, if you look at particular number 30, it's very straight. I would have preferred if they had given that a little bit. You know, you go up to the top and you click the arc function and just give it a little whip.
Yeah. Transform, bit of warp, yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, that dial is great. I love the ironing board hour hand. Looks like you could get up to all sorts of fun on top of that thing.
Yeah, it does. I was going to say mega sword, but ironing board is also valid.
You and I lead very different lives, Tom.
We move in different circles.
I do extreme ironing.
I battle Zordons.
Tom, if I were to throw the word Invicta at you, how would you recoil?
Moderately.
Recoil not, Tom, because this is the Invicta Automatic Pro Diver 200M. and I have found it on sale for the princely sum of just $100. It's usually $200, $100. Let me read you some spec here. 40mm times 13.5mm. That's about the same as a Submariner. It's got a screw-down crown, just like a Submariner. 200 meters of water resistance, that's almost the same as a Submariner. It's got an automatic caliber, the NH35A, which incidentally is the same as the 4R36 we saw in the Seiko 5 earlier. They just rename it when they ship it out to other people. But an automatic, just like the Submariner. It's got mineral glass, which is softer than the sapphire glass, in the Submariner. And it looks like a Submariner. This is the one that looks as close to a Submariner as you could possibly get. $100. If you ever wanted to know what it's like to wear a Submariner whilst also throwing yourself down a cliff, this is probably a good way to find out.
Excellent. $100 for a Rolex Submariner. Well done. I didn't think you could do that, but excellent. Yeah, I think, if you never settle and you're constantly moving, I think you can convince everyone around you that you're wearing a Rolex Submariner.
Is that a Rolex Submariner? Can't stop. Got some cliffs to throw myself down.
Brilliant. Next, I'm going to the fine watch brand spin-off of Watchgecko, the UK-based strap people that make some very fine straps. They also make some very fine watches. This is the Geckota Seahunter GMT quartz watch. In particular, the sand dial with the vintage Pepsi bezel. It's a vintage Pepsi bezel because it's very slightly muted. Now, some people get a bit funny about faux aging, but I love it. There's just so much character and warmth being exuded from this watch, thanks to those faux aging techniques. The warmth of the sandy numerals, and you've got a very soft brushed silver champagne-y dial there. And the vintage Pepsi bezel is very, very nice. It looks... I mean, you often say, found in a drawer, but yeah, it's like a box fresh, buried treasure. Very, very cool. It's sapphire crystal, so it's not going the whole hog with acrylic. Very, very nice knurled crown, and just overall, just a really nicely finished watch. Inside is a Ronda quartz movement, and that powers the GMT function and everything in there. So really cool.
The folks at Geckota have been making some really, really nice watches, and it's nice to see that they take inspiration from history but don't necessarily outright replicate it like the Invicta that we just saw. There's some individual identity going on here. It's familiar, but it's different. It's not too far off, but it gives you a little something extra.
Yeah.
And I really like the faux patina. It is the watch equivalent of those jeans that you can buy that already look like you've fallen off a bicycle with them.
Exactly, yeah. Stone-washed bezel.
And those soft colours. I don't have soft colours on a vintage watch money, but I do enjoy those colours. They are nice colours, and I would also like to enjoy them for the $200 that I do have. Lovely choice. From one very lovely choice to one that may be a little questionable, but I wanted to throw something a bit different in there. This is the Zeppelin Graf GMT. It is a quartz-powered movement. It only has 50 meters of water resistance. It's quite a big watch at 42 millimeters. It's made in Germany, just like the Zeppelins were. It has a logo just like the Zeppelin. I hope this is a choice that doesn't go down with the audience like a Zeppelin. Because I wanted to throw something in there that wasn't just another diver. You may have noticed that so far my watches have all had that kind of underwater vibe going on.
Yes.
But it's a bit different. It's got a little bit of that, oh, hello, what's happening here? Oh, is that a little bit railroady, a little bit pocket watchy, a little bit 1930s with those longer lugs and the bigger dial, the inner railroad track, some very italic markings. I can't really describe particularly where this watch comes from in terms of history, but it feels old. It feels like the kind of watch that would have flashed before the eyes of the people on board the Zeppelin Hindenburg when it met its unfortunate fate. On that note, I do find it odd that they have named it after one of the greatest tragedies to have ever befallen public transport. It would be a bit like naming it Concorde or something like that.
Yeah. Or Titanic. Yes. Oh, the humanity. But it's a lovely watch, though. I do like it. I like the lugs there. There's a bit of a step in there. They look quite ornate. And I like all the elements. There is quite a lot going on. I mean, there's sort of two sets of railroad tracks and two sets of numerals 3 sets of numerals even.
They certainly didn't skimp on the budget when it came to numerals, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, moving on then to my next one, which is a watch from Avi-8. This is the Carry Dual Time Orissa. So, as the name might suggest, Avi-8 are all about aviation-inspired timepieces. They're an English brand, started in 2012, I believe. And they regularly collaborate with pilots and engineers and various air forces to homage their great deeds in the sky. And this is a watch designed as a tribute to one of Britain's most distinguished fighter aces and commanders. Doesn't specify who. Carey? Orissa? I don't know. Anyway.
I would expect a British pilot to be called John Bigglesworth or something like that.
I think they're trying to move away from that now. They all want to be like Hotshot McFly.
So this is the Avi-8 Hotshot McFly?
Yes. So you can tell it's a pilot's watch just from its silhouette there. It's a chronograph and it's got those old-timey, very functional looking pushers on the side. But it's simultaneously very practical in its appearance, but yet looking rather snazzy, thanks to my favourite element, the gunmetal grey dial and case paired with the flashes of neon blue around the hands and dials there. It's a winning combination.
Altogether, this isn't the kind of watch that I would usually like, but there's something about this combination that really gets my eyes good. Maybe it's the blue and grey with the pops of white. Maybe it's those little screws around the chronograph subdials. I don't know. This is definitely not a watch I would buy, but at $200, it's kind of fun enough to start thinking, oh, go on then. I really can't explain why I feel the way I do about it. It might be the blue.
I think it's the blue, isn't it? It sort of elevates it away from that very serious instrument tool watch into something that, is a little bit more playful, a bit more fun.
I think I've got it. I think it feels like... Are you familiar with Morgan cars, Tom?
No.
Nothing to do with me, unfortunately.
Yeah, are you talking about your car?
They make cars that are based on old-fashioned designs. They look very much like Brum, except some of them they've made more modern and they've input some like bold, interesting colours and design details, and you get this combination of the classic and the new that come together that create this weird homogenized satisfaction. This is dallying in that same playground.
Yeah, this is Brum with NOS, is what you're saying.
VTech just kicked in, yo.
Cool, yeah. Very good.
Tom, for the last watch, I'm going to bring everything back down to earth again because I've got another dive watch. This is the Bulova Classic. Now, it's not that classic because Bulova have been making watches since 1875, founded in America, and of course the dive watch didn't start appearing until the 1950s, but never mind the naming convention because of course at $200 the naming convention seems to be the last thing everyone's thinking about. This is reasonably spec'd. It's 44mm, so it's quite big. You get 100 meters of water resistance, not the best. Mineral glass, quartz, but the thing I like about it is that it doesn't look like a Submariner. If anything, it looks a bit more like a Tag Heuer Aqua Racer.
I was going to say Pelagos, but yeah.
But I like it that it's green. And it's not just green on the bezel and the dial. The hands are green as well. They went, oof.
Oh, yeah.
We've bought a lot of green paint and we need to use it. So they used it.
Yeah, there's lots of interesting design cues going on here. Yeah, like you say, there's the Aqua Racer sort of bezel there. And then you've got a nice little sort of Pelagos instep into the dial. And then you've got this sort of knurling inner circle there, which is very cool. Yeah, lots of nice things going on here. I like that. And green is fun, isn't it?
Green is fun. Green is the colour of life.
Or is green so 2022?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what comes in 2023 if they've thought of a new colour.
Look forward to that.
Until then, green is the colour that we all enjoy the most, according to the people in Switzerland. And while we wait for new orders, please do let us know who you thought had the best selection. Was it Tom or was it me? Until next time, thank you so much for watching and listening. Please do like, comment and subscribe and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.